What's going on, Stivers Tribe? Today I just kind of wanted to walk around and show a few things because I feel like it's either been raining, it's been super cold, but we just haven't got outside much because there's just been a lot going on. So I want to show you some of the stuff that we've done. So the last time that you all saw outside was when we built our raised beds, which those are still there. We haven't added any more. The big 30-foot tomato bed, and then our like little flower bed welcome entrance area. So that's pretty exciting. We can't wait to get our soil in and start doing that kind of stuff and getting them filled up and adding a few more beds back there. But we're also warming up. I'm in a t-shirt. When was the last time y'all saw that outside? So the turkeys, I had an extra, not really an extra 100-foot fence. It was one that we had been using for our other animals. But we put the turkeys in a fence with no power. They're trained to it, and that's just kind of proof of how well it is once you've trained to an electrical fence. They just respect it even when there's no power. Now, eventually, I don't want you to take that to heart there, because eventually they will realize that there's no power and want to get out of it. However, harvest date is near. So I think we're hopefully getting going to be able to order our chicken plucker Friday, this coming up Friday. And we're trying to get them harvested before we go to the shindig in April. So hopefully just a couple more weeks and then we can have them harvested and good to go. But the reason I put them in there was they were eating my garlic. And I can't be having that, especially because we're having much warmer days. We have the crazy spring going on to where I'm sure we'll still drop down below freezing, but during the day, it likes to get up into the 50s and 60s. So our salad bed, hood up. They would eat that. The windows on the carrots, which y'all haven't got a real good shot of these in a while, are all off so they can get fresh air. They don't need it. And it's so funny. These the only ones that aren't doing the hottest are those purple ones from Baker's Creek. I can't recall the exact name just yet, but our MI gardeners in the middle and then the hostels on the end are just absolutely killing it and doing it. I tested one out and we were about that big in length. So really exciting for the carrots. They've been growing since about last October. And it's just awesome to have those. Here's what them daggone turkeys did to my garlic. Y'all see that? Snipped the tops right off of them. But thankfully, it was just mainly a little nibble, and we'll be okay for the tops to die off and then grow back. We still got plenty of time. The bulbs themselves are still growing, and that didn't impact them too hard. But it is definitely not ideal. And then our second hoop, we still got some kale, Swiss chard, and some bok choy in it, which it looks like the bok choy actually got a little too hot in there because two of them are going to seed, being little bitty small plants. But the kale and the Swiss chard look to be doing really good, and I'm actually about to plant some radishes and some other things that are ready in this bed where the bok choy was, because we can get maybe a little bit of harvest out of them before we use it for summer. But all the beds are open, so we can't have turkeys roaming free. So when garden beds are open in action and we got some spring garden tour going on, you know what that means? The greenhouse is back in action too. So let's go check out and see what's growing in there. Welcome back to the greenhouse. It's nice to be in here. I feel like we haven't done this since we had about 30 subscribers or something. No, just kidding. But like last spring, late winter, early spring was the last time we were truly in here growing a lot of things. We got our green stock here, which I've kind of dismantled and I'm redoing. I just want to get some nice fresh soil in there. We haven't actually planted anything in it yet because when we got it, it was like the dead of winter. And we just can't control the temp in here as well as we would like in the wintertime, especially like hardcore winter is what I'm getting at. But now it's going to go great. So we're getting that up to get ready to get planted. And then let me turn you around here and show you everything we got growing. So right here, we got some of our cool crops that have kind of had their better days. We had some wild temperatures up in here, but we got some joy choy, which is kind of like bok choy, twisted cauliflower, graffiti cauliflower, all from hostels, flame star cauliflower, and some purple top white globe turnips there. Then over here is all of our little tomatoes that we're growing for sale. And look at there, y'all. Another reason Bonnie's Best is rocking it. We got one right there. There's one popping up there, there, and I think that's about it. So in that flat, there is pink ox hearts, Bonnie's Best, black creme, pineapple tomato, white cherries, and then we got some eggplants on the end just because eggplants can kind of take a little bit too to grow. But out of all of them planted at the exact same time, exact same elements, the Bonnie's Best were the first to break ground and show themselves. And so right here, we got some grow bag items going, which it looks like we need to do a little watering. But right here is a bunch of different peppers. We actually did the plastic bag germinating to where we actually put it with a wet bag and laid it on a heat mat. So these are the ones that have germinated so far. And there's some Anaheim, some banana peppers, Sunbrights, lemon drops, yellow monsters, cayenne, bull rose, and it looks like that's about it. And then all of these are all of our orange tomatoes, orangish yellow tomatoes, which we're really excited about. It's some of our favorites that we were ready to grow this year. We got the Kentucky beefsteaks, which is actually an orangish yellow. Orange Jazz, which is a new one from Baker's Creek. It's a kind of a yellowish orange with some orangish yellow stripes into it, kind of like a green zebra, but a yellow orange. More Orange Jazz, and then we got a Dad's Sunset, which is just a very, very pretty orange tomato. And these two little greenhouses and in this one are all peppers. So these are ones that we didn't actually force germinate. That's a Jigsaw. That one's more lemon drops. And then in here, I know is yellow monsters. And I believe that's all it is yellow monsters. So this is part of that test and learning stuff, right? Peppers are about one of the hardest things to actually get germinated. They need such a controlled temperature. They need soil over 75 degrees. They need good moisture, but not too wet. They're a little bit more picky is what I'm getting at. So we like to just put seeds in a soil, but we decided to try some of the baggy techniques, which I actually have a clip of that. So I'll try to find it and show it, but all it is you take a Ziploc bag, a little paper towel, put your seeds on it, fold the paper towel, wet the bag, and then you seal it up, lay it on a heat mat and cover it up with a towel. It's very simple to do, but you still don't have 100% germination just because sometimes they're picky. But we tried that this year too, and we did get some germinated as I just showed you. So that helps, just to kind of make sure that you definitely get your peppers that you want. And then over here we have a bunch more tomatoes that we're growing, and a lot of these are for sale because we're going to be going to places like the Shindig and some more southern places that we need to have tomatoes ready, but they're not necessarily the ones that are going in our ground just yet. We get a lot of questions about heat and air and what we do in this greenhouse. So we have a very little bitty Honeywell Bright Town heater and then a Honeywell fan that we use to kind of keep the temperature regulated in here. We run the fan basically all the time for two reasons. One, we like a nice strong plant, and we ran a fan just constantly up in here, and that gives your stalks nice and strong because they're already getting used to the wind. And it helps for when you send them outside, you don't have to harden them off as much because they're already kind of hardened off. Because they're used to the wind, they're kind of used to the elements, even though you're in a covered area. The heater is for Kentucky nights because like right now, it just raised like 10 degrees since I came in here because the sun finally came out. But we are at like 95, so I've got to open some windows. We're getting a little warm. But at night, we can drop to 30 degrees just like in an instant. So we put that heater out here and just let it run during the night. It's one of those safe ones. If it tilts, it just completely shuts off. So it's a very safe heater to use out here. I'll make sure it's down in the store just if you're interested. But it helps keep us above freezing. So when you're trying to germinate seeds, that's not ideal. You want to keep a nice consistent temperature for those seeds to live in. So that's why indoor germination is very popular, or if your weather's a little bit more controlled. However, you can get those little greenhouses right here, and you can see those are the ones closest to the actual heater itself. So they stay nice and warm, and we haven't had any issues doing that, but just that's another little kind of test and learn kind of thing. One of the funny things about doing YouTube is that only if you all could see some of the places that creators put their cameras. Like right now, I have it on a little greenhouse on top of a little cardboard box just to get it high enough so you don't cut me off right here. It's hilarious on some of the places that we do. But I wanted to talk about these grow bags just real fast too. I've been seeing it a lot of people post on social media asking their advice and their recommendations on these little grow bags. So we got these last year, just got them off Amazon. We thought we'd give them a try and check them out. So we grew once we transplanted, that's where we transplanted most all of our plants into, was these little grow bags. And great success, loved them. They call them biodegradable. We've had a few comments say that there's some that are and some that aren't. However, we have about 10 different bags. They come, I got dirt all over it, but they come in like a bag like this. And it's just, you can either get like one size or random sizes and a bunch of different sizes. So take it for what it is. However, they probably are biodegradable, but not in one season. Let's say that. So like when we pulled all of our tomato plants out for the end of the year, all these little baggies were still attached to the root or attached to the bottom of the plant. However, there was no whatsoever root constraint. The roots come right out of them, which is what they're planned for. And they're just great. We love them. We highly recommend them if you're interested in when you're doing your transplanting up. The one little hack that Jen and I kind of figured out though, when they're straight out and normal, it's got a bottom end and that's just completely flat and it's hard to sit down. If you turn them inside out, once you get your soil in there, it kind of makes them a little bit more like they have a seat in them. So if you do get them, try that out. You might like it. We do. They just seem to sit in your flats a lot better if you turn them inside out. But grow bags, from our recommendation, we used them all last year. They're good to go. The other thing I want to talk to y'all about, a couple things you're probably noticing. There's no Jen beside me. And I don't know if you all can tell. I can tell it because I can feel it when I'm talking to y'all that we're not the big smiley people that we are today. And sometimes it's hard to smile. Nothing crazy has happened at all. It's just more of things piling up. And it feels like so much weight and like it's just on our shoulders to where you come up for a breath and then you just get pushed right back down in the water. It's been relentless. And if you catch a video I did earlier, I told y'all February is the worst month for people. It is. You're ready for spring. You're tired of the snow. You're over it. You're tired of the rain. You're tired of the darkness. You want sunlight. You want warmth. And for my Australian folks that are down south, you all are about to go into your winter, so I'm sure you're probably ready for that coolness. But it seems like our attitudes and our personalities change in the month of February. Now, I know it's like the very beginning of March, but you have some carryover into March a little bit for the worst month of the year. But basically, raw, honest truth on what's kind of going on. People are kind of angry right now. It is. We probably have been a little bit, I don't know. I don't think we have, but just people just seem angry. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world. And it's causing frustration. And what happens is when one thing happens on social media or in your life or family, we roll off one another. So as soon as there's one piece of frustration or hate or anger that's said, it seems like it's just a ripple effect, and it spreads like wildfire, worse than the coronavirus. It spreads everywhere. And we have a lot of social media outlets, and so it seems like it's been coming in different ways from completely unrelated topics. Like we'll have a conversation here and none of the same people, none at all. And it's just a whole different situation over here. And, some of that's a little overwhelming at times, but that we can handle. We're used to some negative comments here and there. That's no big deal. Whatever. We can pass by because 99.9% of y'all are absolutely flipping amazing. And that's why I'm even being so honest, is because I'm thinking of you all, not the 0.1% that just dislike us completely. What I am talking about is honestly something that I didn't think I was going to roll into, but it's more, I guess, personal and like kind of financial stuff. And really it's just because I see you as a place to vent a little. I want to just kind of preface that this is not a looking for anything. I just need someone to talk to because I know that so many of you all have gone through something similar, and something that we've kind of recently found out with. We're a fairly popular child channel. And so children, listen up. This is good for you because we were told it, we didn't listen to it. And now we're in a current situation that just kind of sucks. So, and don't use the word sucks. That's a bad word in our house. It's not fun and not good. So Jen and I both went to college. It was a great time of our lives. We really enjoyed it. We made a lot of friendships, but that's about it. I'm gonna go ahead and shoot you straight. That's about what we got from college. My job, my work had nothing to do with me going to college. Jen, she stays at home with the kids. It's great for her to have that experience, but once you're out of the game for so long, it's basically nothing. So she had to go back to work. They might look at it, but being out for so long, it's not much. Point being, there's more options than just having to go to college. I wish I would have looked more into that. This is no fault to my parents. They yelled and screamed at me about it all the time that there was more stuff, but I had to do it because all my friends were doing it, right? So I didn't get any scholarships. Jen didn't get any scholarships. Both of our parents, her parents, my mom, helped out as much as they could. Of course, it wasn't for the whole student loans that you are just handed right over when you say you want to go to college, because they are so ready to give an 18-year-old a big bunch of money, which is what's wrong with this world. We want to set up these 18-year-olds and be like, go to college, here's $30,000. Don't worry about it right now, just go get your degree. Well, you're gonna have to worry about it at some point. And you know, that's what we're kind of facing right now. When you're in school, you don't have to pay for your loans. They allow you to just push those along because you're in school bettering yourself. However, your interest, is this gonna grow? Tell me it's not, because it does. So your interest is gonna grow. And then my favorite thing they do for you in college is they give you a refund check. How awesome is that? You're a broke college kid and you're just eating on school lunches and all that fun stuff. And then you get like a $1,300 check and you're like, wow, this is awesome. I can go actually out to eat, or I can go hang out with my friends and do stuff fun. But yeah, why would they give a refund? Why does that even happen? So like, my school charges a certain amount of money, you're lending me money. Why did you overpay? And then instead of just taking that money back and taking it off my loan, why did you give it to me? You know, looking back, it's like, that is the most crazy thing that even happens. Like, and then why don't we even add school books to just the total loan? Like, why do we have to pay for those separate? Not my point of this conversation. My point being is, as an 18-year-old, 19, 20, when you're just ready for college and you're moving for it, people are just gonna hand you so much that you're like, this is the greatest thing ever. Here to tell you it's not. Something I don't share openly, but I'm never worried about sharing. I have a very good job. I get paid pretty well, at least in my eyes. However, it's like I don't have a good job, because where Jen and I have deferred and forbearance and pushed those student loans off as long as possible, basically I'm going to have to take a lot of what my salary is just to pay student loans back. And one thing that we have found out just throughout our 30 years of life, people want you to owe them. They don't necessarily want you to pay them. One, because of interest, and they would just, it's better for you to owe them than to pay something off. So they're gonna try to figure out every possible way. Like, for example, Jen and I aren't allowed to pay larger lump sums unless it's a total amount. They won't accept it. And it's the most baffling thing in my mind that I owe you money. When I come across the money, I can't give you all of it. I have to save it and pay you monthly. And it's strictly because the interest rates, they want it to keep growing. They say they're there to help you, but they're not. And it's just frustrating. And it's been one of those things to where all the stuff has piled up, and it's made this gloomy Monday. I know you're gonna see this on Tuesday, but when we shoot it Monday, it's made a rough, gloomy, rainy, I know it's not now, Monday, start of the week. Everything else that's piled on with either kind of social media anger or just people not in their best moods, piling up to a good old-fashioned fun Monday where we are just having to think about things. So to kind of wrap my rambling up, because I know that was all over the place, but it didn't make me feel better, so I do appreciate you all listening. I wish we'd done things different. I wish we would have gave that refund check back. I wish we would have paid sooner, but we couldn't at the time. You know, now we can, but at this time they're not willing to work with us, at least. And I know you all go through this too. It's not like we're the only people in the world that are doing this. But it's just, it's good to talk about. It gets some anger maybe that's inside you out. Wow, the cat, look at this. Hey, she just jumped in my window from the outside and is now here. Daggone kitty cat. So what are we gonna do? What am I gonna do? We're gonna do everything that we already planned to do. We're going to pay this debt off, the ginormous amount it is. however long it takes and however much it hurts inside to continue to pay it, even though you feel like you shouldn't, but you know you should. You know, you weren't in a conscious mind to take a loan out and do things like an adult would, I guess. So you can make money, you can make the same amount of money without going to college and getting a big bachelor's degree and whatever it is, and then getting your master's. Not downplaying that if that is the choice you choose. Work your tail off on scholarships, saving for yourself before you go into there. I promise you all, you're going to be in such better shape if you prepare and not have to take out those ginormous student loans, because I and so many are verdicts to tell you that it is rough. And as much we love watching Justin Rhodes, you know, we really enjoy it, and I really love his series of the opting out, because right now all I want to do is opt out. And in so many ways, Jen and I have opted out in so much of life when it comes to normal things. However, they've always got you. If you owe them, they got you. So even though we're mortgage free, we've got a lot of different of the normal life stuff paid off. No student loans, y'all. Gonna be the bane of my existence for a long time, but that's all right. We're gonna move forward, because now it's time to feed them animals. Now it's time to continue with this garden. Now it's time to be better and know that we can be better. Gosh, we preach it all the time, right? I know I preach it all the time. And I'm gonna keep smiling. Jen's gonna keep smiling. It's just one of those days where it was a little overwhelming. And I really wanted to get out here and show you all the stuff in the greenhouse, show you some of the stuff that's outside that's growing, and tell you all that speaking to you all, and then looking and being in this greenhouse is what does make my day better. It does not ever take away from the stuff that you have to deal with outside of YouTube or outside of the fun. However, it does give me an escape, and I really, really appreciate every single one of you all that watch. Thank you for the kind words. And y'all, February's over. Now it's time to shake it off. We're into March. Let's make it a better month. Let's make it happy. And please, y'all, share joy. Don't do it. Do not, like your mama always tells you, if you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say it at all. And I'm not talking about on our channel. I'm talking about everywhere, because in a world full of hate and chaos that's happening right now, one negative thing is going to spread like wildfire. And I promise it's going to spread worse than any kind of health virus there ever is. Because the only way that we can be strong and be better is by spreading joy and happiness, because that makes people feel better. And that is the best thing that you can do for one another. You don't know what anybody else is going through outside your life. Just because something might be posted on a status doesn't mean that they truly mean it. Sometimes just let it go or give a helping hand out. Y'all, I'm going to start rambling. I love y'all. Until the next one. Bye.